Hi everyone. So welcome back to one of our interview sessions. Today I'll be interviewing one of our very long-standing members of Music Society. She's a former member of the committee and she actually used to do my role as well, and she's a former music scholar. So please welcome Alice.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you.
So first of all, can you just say what year you're in and what degree you're doing?
So I study dentistry and I'm in my 4th year at Barts.
Very important right now. Like I said, you used to be vice president of the society, and that's the role I'm currently in. Could you just talk a bit about what the role gave you in terms of skills and friendships? Because I know it's been a really amazing position for me.
Yeah, so last year I was vice president, as you said, and as vice president, you'll know this, Ramesh, that you essentially kind of coordinate all the rehearsals and events that the society are doing, and you send out weekly email updates to all our members. And so I guess aside from all the kind of teamwork and organizational skills that it required, the main thing that I learned last year was how to use MailChimp. It was, I guess, software that I was completely not familiar with, and hats off to Ati, who was the vice president before me, for teaching me very well. So yeah, terms of friendships, even from day one of being in Music Society when I was a first year, I've met some amazing people who've become really close friends. People like Alex, who's current president and was president with me last year. Yeah, we've had great times kind of in rehearsals and in performances, and also the post rehearsal spoons has been a very enjoyable experience.
We need that. So I know you very well, and you've been very involved in the Music Society ever since you started, and in pretty much every group we have. So could you just tell us a bit about when your interest first began and how you were able to pursue it?
So I was very lucky in that as a child, there was a lot of music in the house. My dad plays piano, so when I was a small child, I guess my first memories really were of him playing piano. And when I was about 5 years old, I asked for piano lessons, and really it all began there. I'm a pretty terrible pianist, but it certainly kickstarted something, so I guess it was worthwhile. And then from there, a few years later, I asked to play the violin. So I started taking violin lessons, and then about the age of 9, I was lucky to gain a place at the Sage Gateshead Weekend Music School, which is based up in the northeast of England, near Newcastle. And there I obviously had my music lessons and learned a lot more musicianship skills from things like choir and oral lessons and theory lessons and chamber music. So I learned a great deal there. And then whilst I was there, I decided to pick up the oboe when I was 11, and quickly transpired that it was a much better fit for me than the piano and the violin.
You're so good at the violin, though.
I just want to hide at the back desk of Orchestra when. But yeah, so from then I did a lot of orchestral playing on the oboe, and I guess also on the violin, a lot of chamber music, and I got a music scholarship to a school with a really large music department, and so I had loads of opportunities there with chamber music and orchestra, all kinds of things, lots of orchestra tours, etc. And yeah, it's been really special to be able to play music with other people. I know you, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, playing in a group, it just creates such a different atmosphere, and you're coming together for an artistic thing as opposed to just going to university. It's really something different.
Definitely, and something that I miss a lot this year.
Yeah,
you don't quite have the same connection.
Yeah.
Across Zoom.
Yeah. But like you say, it is a very special feeling, and I've had some really interesting and some special experiences with music. Is there an experience that is particularly memorable for you or stands out?
This is really hard because I have been very lucky. But I think in terms of kind of orchestral experience, the biggest highlight for me was getting to play Strauss's Eine Alpen Symphony at the Royal Festival Hall. And that was just absolutely incredible because it's this huge orchestral work, which you should totally go and listen to if you've not heard it before. But you have this huge orchestra, you've got offstage brass, organ, the whole works, and to be able to play that in the Royal Festival Hall, it was pretty exhilarating. There's nothing quite like it.
That sounds incredible. And I've always wanted to play there. So, I mean, playing music, it is something that is just so valuable in so many ways, even if we're not music students. But how would you say, how valuable is music to you right now, especially with everything going on in the world?
It's definitely still very valuable to me. Obviously, missing out on the whole kind of orchestra rehearsal thing and kind of chamber music, but I still couldn't imagine like life without music. Playing music with other people is a big part of my life and a big part of my social life. And through all those activities, you meet so many different people who are similar to you, people who are really different to you, but you all have a shared interest. And so you quickly become very, very close friends, like yourself, being able to, you know, have lots of wonderful memories with lots of different people, you know, whether that's at, you know, rehearsals or performances or kind of outside of music in the pub or
It's a great thing to bring everyone together. It is such a shame that this year is so atypical, but it's shown that music really does transcend just going to rehearsals. It's about those connections. But so with that, do you think you're going to pursue music in the future?
Yes, definitely. I don't think I'd want to just do, you know, my day job and not have music in my life. No, I think wherever I end up, whatever I'm doing in life, I will definitely be seeking out an amateur orchestra somewhere. I can't imagine ever giving up orchestral playing. I mean, dentistry can be quite stressful. So for me, it's not only kind of a great social activity playing in an orchestra, but it's also a big stress buster.
Yeah, it's a cathartic thing. I completely agree.
Yeah. You can enter rehearsal and you can feel absolutely awful about the day that you've just had, but you will leave it and you'll feel amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And especially like at Queen Mary, I love it so much because we enter these rehearsals and everyone's just there for a bit of fun, and it's a lovely environment.
Yeah, normally kind of coming into a symphony orchestra rehearsal at like 6:30 in the evening. I've normally spent the whole day doing dentistry, sat down kind of, and it might have been the worst day ever, but at least kind of seeing like other people's smiling faces and then to create some amazing music and then leave at like 9 and go to the pub. By that point, I've just completely forgotten about my day.
Exactly, yeah. So just for anyone watching, do you have any music suggestions that you've been listening to? Anything you want to get out there?
So currently, I think one of my favorite pieces right now is Aaron Copland's Quiet City. It is a beautiful piece. It's a work that's for cor anglais, trumpet and string orchestra. And it has the most stunning lyrical lines in the cor anglais part. Maybe I'm also a bit biased being an oboist, and I do love the sound of the cor anglais and I do miss playing it. But it's just, they're just so, the lines are just so open and free, and they sound like kind of unanswered questions, and there's so much kind of uncertainty, and I think I find that very relatable at the moment, so I'm quite enjoying listening to that. Everything feels so much slower and it feels like the world that you see around us, so I'm enjoying listening to that. I have also discovered a love for the composer Amy Beach. She is probably one of America's greatest kind of romantic female composers, and her Romance for Violin Piano is absolutely stunning and definitely a very underrated example of kind of romantic chamber music. Definitely worth a listen. As an oboist though, my all-time favorite oboe piece is Vaughan Williams' Oboe Concerto.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of home a bit. I'm from kind of the countryside in the northeast of England, and I think living in London, I do miss seeing some green fields. So when I do listen to this, it does remind me of kind of being back at home and having a bit more greenery around me. And yeah, it's the sound of pastoral England. So
Yeah, Vaughan Williams is amazing at painting those sorts of pictures in your
yeah,
mind. Yeah.
no, definitely. So
Yeah.
go and listen to Nicholas Daniel's recording of that work. It's really
Oh, right. Well, this was so lovely to do. Thank you so much for having this talk, and I hope that we can get back together and play some music soon
Thank you
enough.
for chatting with me, Ramesh. It's been fun.
Lovely. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.